Okay, everybody got everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's call to order the regular business meeting of the Board of Education for Monday, July 25th to order. If I could ask everybody to stand, please, and say the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everybody. Roll call, please.
Stephen Arthur. Jim Batson.
Here.
Alex Delapelli.
Here.
Pat Curdy.
Here.
Scott Booth. Karen Lundstedt. Here. Ellen Mauer. Here.
Okay, so we note Stephen Arthur and Scott Luce are absent for the record. Our agenda, really nothing from the President's report. We'll have a brief superintendent's report, chance for anybody from the public who would like to speak. We will approve the consent vote agenda. Most of this was reviewed earlier this evening in committee. Brief update from program and personnel. Ellen, you'll do that, right? So Ellen will do that. And then facilities and finance, brief update, update on the budget. No property update. CEDAW?
Just a little.
All right, brief CEDAW, IASB.
No, that's
And then in your packet tonight was the closed session minutes. Unless there's a reason,
I'll cover that in the superintendent's. Right,
we
unless
don't
there's a
need, we don't
reason.
need to go into closed session.
Right.
Is there anybody that feels we need to go into closed session? to-
Unless you want to change my, I got to give you a recommendation and then you can
Yeah.
react to that.
All right, so we'll is that on the consent vote? It's not on the consent vote.
It's under my, it's
It's
under.
under, yeah,
Superintendent's report.
Okay. That should be it. All right, so let's go right to the superintendent's report.
Okay, thanks. Even during the summer, we have great news in District 128, so we're going to take a minute and highlight a few things that have been going on in the district of note. D128 students earned a number of national honors at the FBLA National Competition held during this month's FBLA National Leadership Conference in Atlanta, and that's the Future Business Leaders of America. VHHS students receiving national honors were Aditya Aluri, Caleb Ju, and Alex Yang were 4th place in 3D animation. Eunice Yoon finished in 8th place in electronic career portfolio. And Ma Parande finished 10th place in mobile application development. The LHS team of Aditi Mehra, Emily Kern, and Bridget Horvath placed 6th in e-business. Additionally, VHHS FBLA club member Zachary Kurzenberger had the honor of singing the national anthem at the conference's opening ceremonies, attended by more than 10,000 FBLA members and club advisors. And we've had the great pleasure, even at our board meeting, of having Zach singing the national anthem. The Rio 2016 Olympics open in just 12 days. Be sure to tune in to watch LHS junior Laura Zeng as she competes in rhythmic gymnastics. The rhythmic gymnastics competition begins August 19th. Best wishes to Laura. VHHS Assistant Principal Joe O'Brien was selected as a member of the Learning Forward Academy class of 2018. As a member of the program, Joe will participate in 2.5 year professional development experience designed to transform participants' thinking about professional learning. The goal of the program is to prepare participants to lead a similar transformation within their schools. District 128 Communications Director Mary Todrick presented a session at last week's annual seminar of the National School Public Relations Association held in Chicago. Mary co-presented the program, The 3 R's of Telling Your School District Story: Repurposing, Repeating, and Retweeting, with her colleague from Glenbard Township High School District 87. And finally, a shout out to 2 of our villages that we serve. The villages of Vernon Hills and Libertyville ranked 7th and 13th respectively in the niche.com 2016 Best Suburbs to Live in Illinois list. So congratulations to everyone in the villages. FOIA requests, the board will note that we had 5 FOIA requests this month. We also had 3 donation acknowledgements. Let me take a moment to identify those and thank the folks. We'd like to thank Robert Horvath, who lives in Mattawa, He donated the following items to the Fine Arts Department at Libertyville High School: a Canon Speedlight 177A flash, a Samsung Maxima Zoom 105 camera, a 71 to 2010 or 210 millimeter 1 to 4.5 zoom lens, 28 millimeter 1 to 2.8 lens, a Canon AE1 SLR body, and a 50 millimeter 1 to 1.8 lens. So thank you to Mr. Halkovich. Also, Mr. Halkovich donated LeBlanc Normandy clarinet, serial number 1263C, to the music department at Libertyville High School. And finally, thanks to Deborah Cooper from Rochester, New York, Project Lead the Way, for her grant of $100 to support the Libertyville High School Project Lead the Way program in May. So our PLTW teacher facilitator, Andrew Thompson, will put this money to use in the PLTW program. So again, thanks to all of our folks. As Pat mentioned earlier, this is the time of the year that we do our semi-annual review of closed session minutes. We have reviewed those administratively. My recommendation is that we do not release any of the closed session minutes at this time. If you agree with my recommendation, and you can simply vote that we're not, we get a motion and then we'll vote not to release any of those. If you'd like to have further conversation about the recommendation, then we can go into closed session tonight. So that's my recommendation at this point.
Okay, so is there a motion to hold those minutes confidential?
So,
Second.
Any discussion? No? Okay, roll call please.
Batson.
aye.
Delli Polly.
Aye.
Gertie.
Aye.
Lundstedt. Aye. Mauer. Aye.
All right, motion carries.
Okay, Pat, that concludes the superintendent's report.
Okay. Just one question on the FOIA things. Is there anything on that list we are not able to do? There were a couple, resignation letter or something like that.
No, I think
So we're
everything,
able
yeah, I
to-
think everything we've been able to. And as we always do on FOIAs, we work with council when we have FOIAs just to make sure, what we should and should not release under the law.
All right, so the consent vote agenda is listed. Can I have a motion to, actually, I have one question beforehand. Denise, there was one line in the committee of the whole on page 5. Just to clarify, so the top thing there right underneath the 5, it says, also requests for reports on the top 5 biggest expenses trending in the IT and athletic budgets. Actually, what I meant by that was actually the top 5 things, including IT and athletics. So you don't have to get 5 for each other, but we had
Okay.
talked about IT, we talked about athletics, and there may be 3 others that you say, hey, if I was you guys, I'd take a look at these 2.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I thought those minutes were extremely well written.
Yeah, kudos to Denise, because
no,
that
that
was
was really
that was a
good.
pretty
That was
wide-ranging
good.
meeting,
Yeah.
so.
I was pretty impressed with how you put that together, to be honest.
I make a motion that we accept the consent vote agenda with the minutes amended as Pat suggested.
Okay,
Second?
any discussion? All right, not roll call?
Delli Polly.
Aye.
Gertie.
Aye.
Lundstedt. Aye. Mauer.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
That's it? All right, motion carries. All right, program personnel, chairperson.
Okay, we have one thing, the educational tour request for GS Strings to go to Schaumburg. Looking for motion to approve that.
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Gertie.
Aye.
Lundstedt. Aye. Mauer.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Delli Polly.
Aye.
All right, motion carries.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Facilities and Finance, Chairman Batson.
Thank you, Dr. Groody. We have, first on the agenda here is the tax levy calendar. This calendar is presented to outline the steps moving forward for the adoption of our tax levy. Just briefly, September 12th through the 26th is the time we determine the proposed aggregate tax levy. We publish a notice in the newspaper on October 27th of 2016, if needed. And it's only needed if the increase is going to be 5% or more over previous tax extension. Then we'll conduct a public hearing if needed, again, for the same reason, that if it's over 5%, on November 7th, 2016. And then our November 14th meeting, that'll be a board meeting evening, we will adopt the tax levy as proposed. And in December, we filed a certificate of tax levy with the Bay County clerk. So that's the tax levy calendar. I think we need a motion and a second to approve that calendar. No?
I don't see any.
Oh, okay, I don't see any
Yeah.
asterisk either, okay. Never mind, that's just for information. Yeah, okay. So that's just a point of information.
Is that on the website? Does that go on the website?
Yes.
Okay, and that all relates to, also to another discussion that we've been having, quite a bit of discussion actually, on the 2017 tentative budget. We're going to be voting this evening on a tentative budget, and what this is an initial budget that is proposed for discussion, although there's been quite a bit of background work over the past months. We had a committee of the whole meeting last Monday. That was the minutes that we approved during the consent agenda. We had a lengthy Facilities and Finance Committee meeting earlier this evening to discuss this. And this will be to vote on a tentative budget, and then there will be additional review and potential updates prior to finally adopting that budget later in the year. What's the date for the?
I believe it's August 22nd.
August
The
22nd,
board
yeah,
meeting,
so-
yes.
We will have a Facilities and Finance Committee meeting coming up in August 8th, thank you. And that will be some additional discussion on that tentative budget, and hopefully making some recommendations to either, it either remains as it is or making adjustments. I invite the public to join us on that meeting. And then the board meeting in August, we will vote on the budget. So at this point, we need a motion and a second to approve the tentative budget as it stands today.
I'll make a motion that we approve the tentative budget for FY 2017 as it stands today.
Second.
Okay, any further comments or questions, concerns?
Do you want to make a comment?
Highlights, you want to do some highlights? Well, the, about 75% of the budget roughly is driven by existing labor contracts and personnel and benefits costs, and existing contracts like cafeteria service, our custodial maintenance, bus contracts, those types of things. The board had asked us over the past 2 weeks if we would take the part of the budget that we, in essence, have control over and bring those costs down to roughly 0% from actual expenditures last year to budgeted for this year. We did do that. We were able to accomplish that. That's an additional $500,000, $600,000 in the budget, and that is in addition to a little over $2 million that we've cut from that part of the budget over the last previous 2 years as well. We'll continue working with the board, as Jim has noted, in modeling out the financial health of the district over a number of years, which will impact future decisions that we need to make.
Okay, anybody else? Or you need,
So we need a roll call, please.
Right?
any other?
Lundstedt.
Aye.
Mauer. Batson.
Aye.
Delli Polly.
Aye.
Grudy.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next item, rental labor rates for FY 2017. This is a schedule of labor rates for people outside the district who wish to rent district facilities for their events. There's a slight increase across the board just to accommodate the increase in costs. Any questions or comments? We need a motion and second.
I make a motion that we approve the rental labor rates for FY 2017 as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? We have a roll call, please.
Mauer.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye.
Delli Polly.
Aye.
Grudy.
Aye.
Lundstedt.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, that passes. Bid recommendation, we have one, that's the Vernon Hills High School pool filter replacement.
Yep. A proposed motion by the Board of Education that the Board of Education accept the base bid from Mechanical Incorporated, Fremont, Illinois, in the amount of $210,095 for the Vernon Hills High School pool filter replacement project. This project requires, for background, this project requires removal of the existing sand filter system for the installation of the district purchased regenerative filter and controller equipment. In the spring of 2016, one of the sand filter vessels developed a leak, which, because of its location, could not be repaired. In addition, the carbon steel sand filter vessels have surpassed the manufacturer's life expectancy. Mechanical Incorporated is an approved IDPH vendor and contractor. References and the bid amounts have been verified. I am confident that they understand the full scope of the project. And the cost to complete this project is within our budgeted amount.
We have a motion and a second, please.
So
moved.
Second?
Any further comments, discussions, questions? Again, this was fully discussed earlier in the evening at our Facilities and Finance Committee. We have a roll call, please.
Batson.
Aye.
Delli Polly.
Aye.
Gertie.
Aye.
Munstead. Aye.
Mauer. Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And finally, we have a developer donation agreement for the Preserves subdivision. I understand this was worked on earlier, but we're revisiting this. Do you have any further?
That is correct. It was an agreement that was approved by the board a few years back. It wasn't filed to the appropriate authorities. So we've been asked once again, not by us, but by the developer, had not filed them. So we've been asked to approve it again so that it can be filed appropriately.
Can I make a motion that we reapprove the developer donation agreement with Preserves?
Second?
Any further comments or questions? Okay, could I have a roll call, please?
Delli Polly.
Aye.
Gertie.
Aye.
Munstead. Aye. Mauer.
Aye.
Batson.
Aye. Anything under other?
If
That concludes
I
the
may,
facility.
I'll give you an update on the pool filter replacement. IDPH is ready to issue us a permit for the project. They just needed our mechanical contractor that we would be using. So we'll be working on a schedule, construction schedule with the contractor so we can schedule the work and work with our athletic directors, make sure if we can still use the pool and what's the optimal time to do the work.
That's great, because they usually are backlogged and can pose a delay on a project.
So
That's
we
good.
let them know, we're gonna let them know that Mechanical Incorporated is our contractor. And not sure when they're gonna get us the permit, but filter is still scheduled to be delivered on August 10th.
And Mark, there's one other piece, and that's the impeller, right? Which has
There's-
to be custom made.
Yeah, we could not pre-order the impeller because IDPH had to approve our pump curve for the Virginia Grand Baker Act. So now that it's been approved, we know it's approved, we can order that impeller. And then the UV system has a lead time also of 4 to 5 weeks. So we'll get that figured out and get a schedule for demo and installation. So, and they're willing to work weekends to get it done, so
So as,
downtime's as little as possible.
as we discussed with the board earlier, you know, we're taking a gamble every day by continuing. Mark and his crew did a great job on the repair. That repair could go tomorrow, it could go a year from now. So we can actually schedule the crisis, if you will, by actually having a date certain that we're going to fix, rather than gamble and saying, okay, well, we'll just keep it going, and then if it fails in the middle of December, we'll figure out what to do. As you know, because those facilities are so used by us, the CATS swim program, also the community, trying to do that on the fly, if that happens to go out at an unpredictable time, is almost impossible. So we're going to have some disruption in early September. to the two pools, but once we have an idea on that, Brian and Bryant at LHS can work that 2-week downtime, and we can plan the crisis, so to speak. We can handle it at a pre-planned time rather than having it happen in December or January at a time that we don't know, and then we have to go back and do a lot of reverse planning. So it'll create some disruption, but less disruption than if it happens at a, an unpredicted time in the future. So we'll keep you up to speed, Mark will keep you up to speed as part of that as we move forward.
Thanks,
Hey,
thanks, Mark.
Mark, one other just quick question. Are we on track with the pads for the Brainerd facility before?
I will check with him. They're working on the pads for Vernon Hills gym. But he did say we would have them by the middle of August.
All right, that concludes the Facilities and Finance Committee report.
All right, thank you. Cedar?
Just to let you know that Grass Lake School District 36 has filed a formal letter of intent to withdraw from CEDAL, so here's another one. I'm guessing it's a pretty small.
It's a
very
very small district, so.
So, but, it continues the trend of schools withdrawing, so I don't know. I can imagine that's going to be a huge impact, but it is still.
Yeah, we'll get numbers from them at some point on what that impact will be.
And that would be effective next summer,
Right,
July.
a year from now.
Okay, is that it?
Yep.
Okay, thanks. All right, that's it. Unless anybody else has anything else? No? Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All
Second?
in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good night, everybody.